Well, morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Are we emotionally screwed up and not even caring about that one? Because automatically we're in that situation, guys. 8:40 in the morning, Sunday, the 6th of April, 2025. Weaver Agency of Roseman, California. Yeah, well, camera angles changed a little bit. Sorry, I had to take care of a few things. Some of you folks have talked about what a cute dog I have. Well, she's an old lady for a senior citizen. 16 or 17, I think. Old. But very much bellicose at times. Keeping track of, trying to keep track of what the hell was happening yesterday. Towns across the world saying no to Trump and his tariff bullshit and the rest of his insanity. And everybody else out here in the state, well, they're saying the same thing to him. My town was quiet. Town of Roseman, California, they're quiet. They don't care. They think Trump's God, so they aren't supporting his ass. Nor were they going to be mouthing off on online or even outside. Nothing. Quiet. Dead. Trump wants his tariffs permanent, as long as he's in office. And he played golf while the interred came home. He played golf. His own tournament, and he's going to win it because he's Trump. Meanwhile, prices are going to be going up automatically. People are freaking out, losing their 401ks at this point. FEMA's on the chopping block, major. Which means your state's having disaster will depend upon your own disaster plans in your state. Because if you don't have any, you're out of luck. FEMA is planning to be cut tremendously where you don't get any assistance. It's not my problem, your problem. Oh, that's right. It's all our problem, isn't it? We should have said something about it. Yeah, we did. But Trump doesn't care, neither does the other guys. One of the independents out there is having a field day. Maybe a few of them were having a field day. That the business and trade secretary they've got there going head to head with Musk. And I'm watching this thing. I'm wondering what's going on with these two idiots. Why? Why aren't we focused on two whiner babies in a sandbox? They're quibbling over the damn sand again? And no adult? It's like I want to say, just take the sandbox and dump it over their heads and say, shut up. Just shut up. Where's your parents? Your parents out there playing golf. They don't care about you kids. It's like I'd like to have another adult over there to tell these kids to shut up already. Go to the other corners. Instead of arguing with one particular corner with the sand. I guess people don't get the idea. Wait until they start having kids or seeing kids at the damn playgrounds and see how the hell they like it. I got a playground feet away from the front door. And I hear these brats going constantly. Beep, 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 beep. Yelling and screaming at each other. Where's the adults? Hiding. Hiding. Sometimes you just want to go out there and yell at the kids. No, let the kids be kids because they're kids. But we're talking about adults acting as kids. One wants the tariffs to go through because it's going to work, he says. The other one wants free trade. Well, why weren't you doing anything about it when the tariffs were announced or being formulated? Bunch of dumbasses, I swear. This is what I don't get about politics these days. It's all about the quibbling. It's not about governing the country. It's about the sandboxes they argue about whether or not if they're going to get enough sand in theirs, they'll form their own little sand castles before some other kid comes over and starts smashing it all over the place. You hear the whining at this point, and then you hear the bloodfest. Noses being bloodied, and there goes the sand. Well, so much for pristine sand. And then again, you got to look at the sand and think, no, because they've already been pissed on, shit on by anything and everything else in there. So they're playing in a litter box. And they're creating their own litter, so to speak. And so is everything else using it. So they're not playing in a sandbox, they're playing in a litter box. Growing up as kids, for real, we did those things. We didn't realize at the time that animals came by, took a piss in there, and used it for a marker. We didn't care, we didn't smell anything. But nor was the sand replaced all the time either. If you had a if you had a very stuck up or stuffy area for a sandbox or playground, maybe they did take care of things. But nature being nature will put its own markings in there. And we had to use those. Not to mention the beaches. You go over to the beaches and you think you'll have territory. Nope. Public. Everything else is going to be thrashing around you. So guess what, boys and girls are going to be losing that too. Both physically and literally and metaphorically. So while we hear the independents having a field day between two guys, all I'm looking at is a pissing contest. Trump listened to the pissing contest, didn't care. He's winning a golf game. He's winning a golf tournament. He's going to win again. Because he's Donald Trump and everything's so perfect. And his Trump's going to be permanent. His tariffs are going to be so permanent that nobody will care. Except for the consumers are going to be charged an arm and a leg, including me. My food prices are going up. My money's not coming in as much. I have to take care of the clothing I've got even worse. I'm not quite sure about the soap prices these days. They're going to go up. No, we use chemicals from other countries to create our stuff, including laundry detergent, cleaning soap that we use on our bodies, shampoo. That's why I hadn't taken a bath and a shower in about a month already. Prices get coming up more and more. I have to stretch the stuff out even worse. Yeah. Try living on that kind of a fixed income. You think you're getting it up, and then again, you look at the expenses that you've got compared to how much money you've got. My videos in the past, I tried talking about it, besides hearing her whine like crazy, is you got a set. You got a set amount coming in. You're on a fixed income. You have a set amount. You have to compare the prices of the past that you've been spending, so you have a baseline to use. Subtract it with what you've got coming in, and the amount left over is the stuff that you've got to manage for the time period you have until another paycheck comes in, either by work or by retirement or whatever. Speaking about the 401s, do you have any left? I heard the stock market went all week. I think we need to get some subterranean burrows just to see if the level is still there for the stock market. Get some digging equipment. Of course, that's expenditure, isn't it? We have to find out where the Dow dropped down to, whether or not it went to subterranean or not. If it starts melting, it probably touched the mantle, and if it's worse than that, well, I guess the markets have permanently crashed if it went to the Earth's core. All because of will and ego and whim. And guess whose fault that is? You want to try to play the fault game? Blame yourselves. You did this shit to yourselves. And you spread your damn shit over to everybody else. You're tiffed in the sandbox. Guess what? Somebody picked up the sandbox and dumped it all over us. Shit, pieces and all. from everyone and everything. Deal with that one. We had to a long time ago when we didn't have any retirement, when we didn't have any Social Security, to even have a little bit of a safety net. Well, now we got the Republicans still want to do that thing, privatize it, tear it apart. Musk was doing a hell of a job on it with his Doge. And now there was word of whether or not he's going to get rid of old Doge Master himself. He won't. He needs the money too much. He's that much of an egotistical, arrogant son of a bitch. Yeah, I called the trash bag that one. Donald J. Trump, you're trash. And unfortunately, the American voters had voted to put in a waste management surrogate into the Oval Office in the form of you. You and the crawling maggots in there replicated. So now we can't get rid of you out of the Oval Office, nor can we get rid of them out of the Congress and the judicial system. Ain't that nice to hear? Meanwhile, we're living with the living remnants. We're living with the maggots all over the place. We're living with cockroaches, literally and figuratively. Imagine having some guy going to a peaceful protest, pissed off at the trash bag and his policies. But the guy comes in armed, and what pisses me off is what, according to the reports, are the cops escorted the guy out without arresting him. He pulled in right into a march situation, brought out a shotgun, had a maggot hat on there, and tried to do intimidation at this point. What was he looking for? People to run away from him, or people to come up to him and take the gun away from him? Neither. Cops came in and just escorted the guy out, said he's no threat. Well, gee, Wisconsin really must be stupid in its laws. Allowing a guy to come out with a shotgun, having it in broad daylight, you don't think that's a threat? I know cops out here in California would get arrested for brandishing a weapon. This asshole brandishes something, but at least he gets on camera. He gets his 15 seconds of fame. That social media's been blasting this asshole all over the place. But at least we're not saying he's a hero, he's a villain. He's part of the problem. But the people weren't bringing out shotguns either. No, he just wants to be a bellicose idiot. He was in there right at his own time, his own choosing. He decided to be in the area. That's why he drove in the area. He knew about the area. But did the reporter ever figure this shit out? No, because the reporter's publisher has been told about it. Keep it quiet. We don't want any problems. Well, guess what? You got problems on social media now. Now what are you going to do about it? And when you got people trying to prove the story otherwise and telling the reporter he got it wrong, you either retract it or else start eating a lot of crow and being disbelieved. Sometimes social media gets it right, especially when you have so many witnesses showing the same thing but at different angles, but telling you the truth what's going on. So one of the independents out there trying to tell people about that, I'll tip my hat off to him. But when he starts going after two idiots in the White House fighting over sand again, I'm like, dude, pick a better fight than this shit. You're smarter than that. At least we gave you credit for that one. Meanwhile, I got a dog that's still telling me that she still needs attention in the worst possible way.